In this video, we'll go over how to grade your content using the topic content grader. But before we get into the mechanics of how the grader works, it's important to understand the underlying principle behind why we're grading content in the first place. So, when Google is deciding how it should rank content, one of the most important signals that it uses is user engagement data, like bounce rate and time on site. So if Google sees that users are clicking a piece of content and then quickly bouncing out, then it's a sign that the content didn't really match what the user was looking for, which is bad for the user, bad for Google, and then bad for the content creator because Google will then rank the content lower and send it less traffic. And that's why it's essential that you create relevant content that engages users, content that really matches what they want to learn about. And increasing the relevance and quality of your content can have a big impact on its traffic. So this is a screenshot of the daily clicks from the Google Search Console of one of our clients after they optimized their library with Topic. They saw a significant uptick in traffic over the course of 6 months. So that's where our grader comes in. It ensures that the content that you're creating comprehensively covers the topic at hand. So once you have your draft, you can open it up, copy it, and then paste it into the editing area. And then after a couple seconds on the right, you'll see the topics that are missing in white and the topics that are covered in green. The grade is shown in the top right with a bar indicating how close you are to reaching an A grade. And our grading system is really simple. It's just based entirely on how well your draft covered the topics that are listed on the right side. So the more topics you use, the higher the grade. The topics are ordered by how frequently they're used by other articles, and clicking on any of the topics shows you how they're used so you can quickly get the context. If you find that a topic is irrelevant and you don't want to include it in the grading, you can just hit ignore. The H icon indicates that the term is frequently used in headings, and the yellow triangle means that you might be using it too much. If you'd like to import content from a URL, you can click this button down here, add the URL, and we'll pull the content in. And if you want to disable the highlighting, so that you can copy and paste this back into Google Docs or your Word editor, you can just use this highlight topics checkbox down here. Another feature that I want to show is this group by semantic similarity switch. So this can be useful because it clusters the topics into groups, which are indicated by using different colors. These clusters can then be used to make better sense of this long list and make it easier to naturally include the topics in the right places. So scrolling through here, for example, we've got this cluster where I've covered fertilizer, plant foods, and nutrients, but I haven't really talked about how that affects photosynthesis. So I can open this up, learn more about how this affects photosynthesis, and then integrate that naturally into my content. And if I add it here, it'll update the grade accordingly. So if you're working with freelance writers or an agency, then you might want to consider sharing this grader with them so that they can own this step in the process and grade the content that they're producing for you. And if that's the case, all you have to do is click the share button in the corner, click enable shareable link. And then once they use this link, they can access the grader without having to log into our system. So as you're using our tool, it's really important to remember that the goal here is not to stuff the topics into the article just to reach a high grade. It's to use this list as a starting point to understand how to add more value for the reader. The more value you add as a writer by using these topics, the more results you'll see. If Google Docs is part of your workflow, then we have an even easier way for you to grade your content using Topic, and that's with our Google Docs add-on. To get it, open up the add-ons panel, click Get Add-ons, then in the Marketplace, search for Topic. We're the first result, so you can open that up and install it. So once you've installed it, you'll be able to access it on any of your Google Docs by going to the Add-ons panel, clicking Show, and then on the right side here, you'll see our add-on. You'll log in using your Topic account and then scroll to the brief that relates to the document that you have open. And then you'll get the same grading experience all within Google Docs. So that's everything you need to know about the Topic Content Grader. If you have any questions or product feedback, don't hesitate to reach out by hitting that chat button in the top right. Happy writing!